The year is 2025. A cloud of suspicion hangs over 1,199 SEIU United Healthcare Workers East, one of the nation's most powerful labor unions. At the center of the storm stands George Gresham, the union's longtime president. Gresham, a figure once lauded for his advocacy on behalf of healthcare workers, now faces serious allegations. Critics accuse him of misusing union funds, blurring the lines between personal expenses and legitimate union activities. These accusations paint a troubling picture of unchecked spending and questionable financial practices at the highest levels of the union. The allegations against Gresham and his administration are far from trivial. They strike at the very heart of the union's mission, to fight for the rights and well-being of its members, many of whom earn modest wages in demanding and often undervalued professions. The alleged financial improprieties, if true, represent a profound betrayal of trust. The rank-and-file members who pay their dues faithfully now question how their hard-earned money is being spent. Gresham's travel expenses have come under particular scrutiny. Reports detail frequent trips, some with dubious connections to union business. One particularly eyebrow-raising expenditure involves a series of trips to South Africa. The purpose of these trips, especially one undertaken in 2018, remains unclear. Critics question the justification for such extravagant travel, especially when the union has cited financial constraints in other areas. Beyond the international travel, Gresham's domestic expenses have also raised red flags. Records reveal substantial spending on hotels, including a lengthy stay at a Residence Inn in the Bronx in 2022. This expenditure seems particularly out of line considering Gresham owns a home in the area. The optics of such spending, especially for a union president, are undeniably poor. Further fueling the controversy are allegations that Gresham used union funds to benefit family members. His daughter, Sienna, reportedly accompanied him on numerous trips, serving as his caregiver. While the union maintains that her presence was necessary due to Gresham's health issues, the optics of such an arrangement are troubling. Critics argue that the union should not be responsible for covering the personal care needs of its president, even if those needs are legitimate. The allegations of familial financial entanglement go deeper. Kevin Zambrana, a music producer who has received substantial sums from the union for various events, reportedly employed Gresham's son, James. These financial ties, while not necessarily improper in themselves, raise questions about potential conflicts of interest and whether union funds were used appropriately. One of the most controversial expenditures involved a $50,000 legacy award given to Reverend Jesse Jackson in 2023. While the union maintains that the payment was intended to help cover Jackson's medical bills, critics argue that it was an inappropriate use of union funds. They question the justification for such a large sum being given to an individual who, while a prominent figure in the civil rights movement, has no direct affiliation with the union or its members. Adding to the controversy are reports of Gresham using union funds to cover his rent for a Manhattan apartment. This arrangement, particularly its duration and the circumstances surrounding its authorization, has drawn sharp criticism. Critics argue that it is highly unusual for a union to cover housing expenses for an official who already owns a home in the area. Section 5. Whispers of financial strain. As allegations of lavish spending by Gresham and his inner circle surface, a starkly contrasting picture emerges from within the union itself. Reports suggest that the union, even while funding extravagant expenses for its president, has faced internal financial difficulties. Essential departments are reportedly understaffed, key positions remain unfilled, and employees have been informed of budget constraints. This apparent disconnect between the union's spending priorities and its internal financial realities has sparked outrage among rank-and-file members. They question how the union can justify lavish expenditures on travel, entertainment, and personal care for its leadership, while simultaneously pleading poverty when it comes to serving its members and addressing critical staffing shortages. Section 6. The union's defense justifications and explanations. In response to the mounting criticism, 1,199 SEIU has vigorously defended its spending practices. Union spokesperson Bryn Lloyd-Ballard maintains that all expenditures were properly authorized and within the bounds of standard union practices. The union insists that Gresham's travel, often portrayed as extravagant by critics, is necessary for him to effectively represent the union's interest on a national and international stage. Regarding the allegations of familial financial benefits, the union maintains that Sienna Gresham's travel as her father's caregiver was a cost-effective solution to address his health needs, while allowing him to continue his leadership role. The union also defends its financial support of the Gathering for Justice, an organization led by Carmen Perez, as a legitimate part of its broader social justice mission. Section 7. A crisis of leadership. The allegations of financial impropriety come at a precarious time for Gresham and the union. Gresham, once a towering figure in the labor movement, has faced increasing scrutiny in recent years. His health, reportedly in decline, has raised concerns about his ability to effectively lead the union. Reports of him falling asleep during meetings and requiring assistance with basic tasks have fueled speculation about his fitness to continue in his role. This crisis of leadership coincides with growing dissatisfaction among the rank and file. Many members, feeling increasingly disconnected from the union's leadership, question whether their voices are being heard. The allegations of lavish spending and questionable financial practices have only deepened this sense of disillusionment. Section 8. The Gathering Storm. Dissent within the ranks. The controversy surrounding Gresham's spending has ignited a firestorm within the union, with many members openly questioning his leadership and demanding greater transparency and accountability. A group of dissident members, frustrated by what they perceive as Gresham's autocratic style and lack of financial transparency, have formed the Members' First Unity Slate. This group, led by Yvonne Armstrong and Veronica Turner-Biggs, is challenging Gresham's leadership in the upcoming union election. The emergence of a viable opposition slate represents a significant challenge to Gresham's authority. For the first time in decades, he faces a serious threat to his leadership. The outcome of the election will likely hinge on whether the Members' First Unity Slate can successfully capitalize on the growing discontent within the union and convince members that they offer a viable alternative. Section 9. The election looms. A reckoning for 1,199 SEIU. As the 2025 union election approaches, 1,199 SEIU finds itself at a crossroads. The allegations of lavish spending and financial mismanagement have shaken the union to its core, exposing deep divisions and raising serious questions about its future direction. The election will be a referendum not only on George Gresham's leadership, but also on the very soul of the union. The outcome of the election remains uncertain. Will Gresham weather the storm and hold on to power, or will the Members' First Unity Slate usher in a new era of transparency and accountability? The stakes are high, not only for the union's leadership, but also for its hundreds of thousands of members, whose lives and livelihoods hang in the balance.